Hey, what's up, guys? It's Dave, Renegade Gig Hustler. Welcome back to my channel. I wanted to talk to you about a few things here and some key things on Uber Eats and DoorDash, any of the gig apps. If you're working in the gig economy, things that are very important for everybody to realize. First off, very important. Do you believe that all market areas are created equal? Does your area become oversaturated? Do you know what oversaturation is? Do you know how oversaturation can affect you in a given day in a certain market area from making the profit you need? And just a few other things that I want to talk to you about. All these things will be answered. Stay tuned. Well, welcome back, guys. Okay. Does a market area always compare to another market area? Are all market areas created equal? Absolutely not. And why, you ask? Well, because you could have a certain market area. Market areas vary too, depending on what gig app you're doing, what type of app you're doing, and how you're doing it. Are you doing it at lunchtime? Are you doing it at dinner time? Generally, Uber Eats and DoorDash are both pretty busy during the lunch rush. The lunch rush goes from 11 to 2 every day, no matter what day it is. Dinner goes from 4 to 7. And you have that in-between point, 2 to 4, where anything's up for grabs. Anything could happen. It could be a package delivery. It could be a shop and pay. It could be a red card order. It could be just people eating a late lunch, an early dinner, and whatnot. So what is mainly important is what is going on in your market area. Is your market area busy, number one? Now, just because it's busy over 3 towns over doesn't mean it will be busy where you're at or where you have your hotspot. Market areas vary depending on what city you're in, what part of the city you're doing Uber Eats in, DoorDash. And I'm using DoorDash and Uber Eats for the 2 examples, even though there's slews of other gig apps, and I'm including those all, but I'm just going to use the names Uber Eats and DoorDash. Now, during the lunch rush, it's generally busy, but I'm on the lunch rush now, and what I'm seeing is a lot of trips that are wanting pickups for around here, but going all the way into town. Pittsburgh, I'm talking. 13 miles east is where I'm at in Monroeville. So 13 miles, over 13 miles, people are ordering food. And why they're all ordering out of Monroeville, I don't know, but they feel that that is a very busy market area. It is a restaurant market area here in Monroeville, which is why I choose to work out of this area. Now, the other factor is on DoorDash, they have you divided up into zones. Now, DoorDash, I could be doing DoorDash, and I could get a pickup here, take it over 2 towns over, but by the time I'm done dropping that off, I'm out of the zone. Whereas on Uber Eats, you can do it wherever, however, and I'm never out of the zone. So on Uber Eats, you're never actually out of the zone. You're within range no matter where, because that is the way Uber Eats is set up and operates. DoorDash is probably could be better if it was more like that, but they have you set up into zones. In DoorDash, you have to ask for permission to dash. Do you have to schedule? If you're not a certain percentage or whatever, they have you schedule. And there's days that you won't be able to get on the app. And there's other factors, guys, like if you choose earn by hour when they're offering that. If you don't do so many trips within that, they knock you off. They boot you off. and I always earn by trip. So I'm getting paid per trip because I can do it for however long that I am scheduled for. And then there's other times where there's not a lot of drivers, and it will ask me once I go off, do I want to come back on and dash again? It'll give me a message. It'll pop up and it'll say, David, if you want to dash now, hit the Dash app. So the other factor is it could be very busy in a market area downtown where it is not here, or here versus downtown. Or if you look at a city to city ratio, it could be very busy in this city but not very busy in this city. It is just the way that the app fluctuates up and down depending on how many people order at any given time to keep the app progressively busy. The other factor in my area is a lot of times DoorDash is very oversaturated. Oversaturation happens when you have too many drivers. When you have too many drivers, pay goes down. When you don't have enough drivers, pay will go up. There's a demand, and so they try to get drivers to feed that demand. And when there's a demand, there's more profit to be made. And so that is always a good thing. And on Uber Eats, I've never had to worry about it. I've been the only solid driver in my area for over 4.5 years. I've done DoorDash for over 4 years. So what I've noticed is that the oversaturation happens on DoorDash. Now, I am on DoorDash right now. I just did a $14.50 trip, and I took it 6.6 miles. But there is a lot of trips coming through over and over and over because nobody's accepting them because of what they're paying and because of where the mileage is. The mileage is super exceeding what the dollar amount is, and you always want to remember dollar to mile ratio. And I try to go over and above that dollar a mile ratio so I at least make a profit for each and every trip that I do. So there's a lot of people out here doing it right, doing it wrong. And I wanted to talk to you also. There's a right way, guys, and a wrong way of doing any of these gig apps. And ask yourself, am I doing this right? Am I doing this wrong? Why am I not making this? Why am I doing this? Why am I just jumping at these low bottom trips, paying $3 and $4, going 8, 10, 12 miles when there's nothing in it for me? Because there's literally nothing in that for you guys. You want to be patient, get yourself a solid trip, and you want to roll with it and get similar trips to that in order to get to where you're trying to be for the day. The other factor is, guys, there's a lot of people out here that are just accepting trips to accept trips. Pay attention to the notes. Pay attention to the amount. Pay attention to the mileage. You have to know that it's way over the dollar a mile ratio in order for you to turn a profit and still have a tip. You can actually see if there's a tip or not by looking at that dollar amount, judging the mileage, and just, it is a common sense thing, guys. And I'll grant you, there's a lot of terrible drivers out here, and they do not have the knowledge or the common sense to figure that out. I'm here to keep you in the loop, to help you with these things, to give you the tips, the tricks, the ups, the downs, the ins, the outs. I've been through it over the last 4.5 years. I've seen it all, guys. I've seen the best and I've seen the worst. There's people here that just jump at any trip, and you can't do that. Pay attention. I'm going to give you a tip right now. For those of you doing DoorDash who didn't know this, listen to what I have to say. On your trip, we have a trip here, and on this, it'll show you point A and point B. One is the restaurant, and one is where you're delivering it to, the home, the business, wherever. If you click on the business or the home where you're going to take that to, it will pop up an address above the icon. There's 2 black icons on the map. One is the restaurant, one is where you're delivering it to. Press on where you're delivering it to, and it will show you an address will pop up right above that. That'll better inform you of what you're about to face or where you're going, and give you an idea of what everything's about before you go and take that trip. On Uber Eats, it's a little different. It'll show you point A and B too, but it won't actually pop that up. But in the description down below, where it's giving you the dollar amount and what the trip's estimated at, it'll give you an idea of what area you'll be in. And if you've done it along as me, you will always know what area you're going to. And I've been just about everywhere, so you'll understand what that's all about and what you're actually doing. So pay attention to the keynotes. And but for those of you who didn't know that about DoorDash, you can hit and tap those icons and they will give you the address. There's an icon for the restaurant and an icon for the drop-off. Hit the one for the restaurant, it'll pop up the address above it. Hit the icon for the drop-off and you'll see another address. So moving on, hopefully that will help you, and for those of you who did not know that, and that will help you in better deciding whether you want to take that trip or not, if it's worth it to you, if it's going to pay you for your time. Remember, guys, you have to factor in when you're looking at that price, that fare coming into you. It's giving you the fare, and it's telling you plus 100% of the tips guaranteed. Or on Uber Eats, it'll say the fare plus expected tip included. So if you bring service, if you accommodate the customer, you will sometimes get more of a tip, especially on Uber Eats, which is the case for me. I can count on my one hand how many times I got a tip afterwards on DoorDash. Not often. On Uber Eats, very often. It's the one app that pays me consistently the most over the last 4.5 years. Now, last week I was running Uber Eats, DoorDash, Instacart, and Walmart Spark. Why, you ask? I'm trying to increase my profits. You guys who are new to this, I don't recommend that you multi-app right off the bat. Take the time to know the app that you're signed up for. Learn that app. Learn your surroundings. Learn everything that's popping up on that screen. The dollar amount, the mileage, deliver by time, where the pickup is, where the drop-off is. Pay attention to the accept, the timer. And then when you get to the next screen, if you accept it, pay attention to the notes on the restaurant. Where to pick it up at. Or is there parking? How do I park there? And this and that. And all those fine little details, guys. Pay attention to those things, because those things are going to really matter on whether that was really worth it for you or not. I just had a bumblebee fly in and get on my dashboard, but I quickly removed it, but he's trying to get back in. So, he's gone. And here's the other thing. You've got all kinds of people out here doing these gig apps. Some are doing it for easy money. Some are like me because they're depending on this as their livelihood for doing this full time. And I had other things happen in events that took place in my life a while back. I was a maintenance technician for a real estate management company, and years ago I was in a terrible accident. I was in critical shape on my job and required critical surgery on my spine, which affected my legs and just everything, guys. And so this was back in '08, and I wasn't allowed to go back to that job, which I had invested a lot of time and years in. And so I did other things after that. I was in physical therapy for 16 months and moved on, and it was a long hurdle. It was a devastating time in my life, and then I did other ventures, other jobs, and I eventually got into this. I still remember my first pickup over 4.5 years ago, at Five Guys. I didn't even know I was doing Uber Eats that day. I put the app on, came by Five Guys, the app went off, went in there and picked it up. 11 trips later that day, I made, I would say, $192. True story, guys. That was 4.5 years ago. And, of course, back then when I came on, they were running a lot of promotions and incentives, and I nailed them all, and I was making pretty good money every week. And later on, I moved on to DoorDash. I moved on to all the other apps, and I've done them all. Instacart, Grubhub, Walmart Spark. I just got on Shipt, and I just got on Flex, Amazon. So, trying to do Uber Eats and DoorDash today. Not very good, not very busy. You know it's not very busy, guys, if you see repeatedly the same trip coming in over and over and over. Now, in oversaturated days, which it is most times on DoorDash here in my market area, you may have this scenario. You could have a car sitting over here doing DoorDash, and you have DoorDash. They got offered $8.50 for the trip at a 70% acceptance rate, but you got offered $15 and you only have a 15. Yes, that can happen. Just because they have a higher acceptance rate does not mean that they will get any better trip than you. There's so many out here running around trying to be top dasher and whatnot, and don't stress yourself out, guys, trying to be top dasher. Come out here with the idea that you're out here to make profit, that you're out here to do something good, that you're treating yourself right to make that profit you need to make. There's various protocols that you will need to follow in order to get there. And I like to talk a lot about the fact that you need to stay positive. Everything on my channel, guys, is positive and motivational and upbeat. And that's all for a reason, because that is the way you will need to be successful. You will need to have a good attitude. You will need to possess a good personality, and you will need to be able to accommodate customers, and you will be able to see and reap the benefits of things that are going to make you feel better in the long run. Hard work isn't easy. Quick money doesn't happen like that, guys. You have to really hustle in order to get benefits, to see what is in store for you, to make you feel good about you. Finding your niche and what you're supposed to do is essential for you to understand what's good for you and what's not. If you're just wasting time taking these lowball trips all the time and not realizing much, then you have to know that that's something that wasn't in your favor, or something that isn't good for you. So stay tuned into yourself for what is good for you and what isn't. And as I said before, there's a right way and a wrong way of going about this and doing these things. There's a right way to getting there. There's a wrong way to think that you're just going to make easy money. Easy money doesn't happen. Hard work takes a long time. Hard work will eventually make you feel better about you, because you'll know what you put into yourself, and later on you'll see the end result as something good and realize what that was just all about. I've seen it all, guys. I've seen the best and I've seen the worst in my 4.5 years of working in the gig economy. And I've had the best days and I've had the worst days. The worst days you have to chuck it out the window, put it aside, move on to other things for the rest of the day, and start fresh the next day. And I'm not saying get up at 5 o'clock and just get out here. I'm saying make a game plan, make a strategy, follow it through. Try to reach that daily goal. If you come close, you've done good. If you've done nothing, you're not going to get nothing sitting at home playing video games, or sitting in your house, or sitting in your basement, or just doing nothing. I always have to be doing something. I always have to be working at something in order to know that I've done something. It's doing those somethings that are going to make you feel good about something good. So keep that in mind. Having a clear mind, having a positive attitude, the right amount of sleep, putting your efforts and your time into something in order to understand what you got out of it. And if you're satisfied, you know that you're getting there. Start small. Don't go too big. Start small and gradually work your way up. If you understand one app good enough, try another app, multi-app. You surely don't want to get in a predicament multi-apping, picking up an order on this side of the highway on Uber Eats, picking up an order on that side of the highway, DoorDash, only to find out that you have to backtrack and go all the way back up on the other side of the highway where you picked the Uber Eats up to deliver, and then get your other drop-off over back this way where the DoorDash was. And why is that? Is because you carefully did not plan a strategy for how that should be. Pay attention to DoorDash, because they only give you X amount of time to get that delivery out. You don't want to jam yourself up and get home and find that DoorDash sent you an email, and don't think it won't happen, that you were late 20 minutes on that delivery because you were trying to multi-app. They don't know you were trying to multi-app. You do. You're going to know you fouled yourself up or jammed yourself up because you didn't do things in a right manner, and they turn around and give you a contract violation. Don't think it doesn't happen. It happens to the best of us, guys, and it happened to me. But on mine, I was told that I didn't deliver the food. But little did the customer know is that I carry a dash cam, I carry a body cam, and I carry a phone, and I had video. So when they said, you didn't deliver the food, yes, I did. No, this isn't going to happen to me, not me. And I sent that video to DoorDash, and guess what, guys? The next day, contract violation removed. So these are the tools, other tools, important tools that I use to do what I do. Get yourself a good dash cam, a GoPro, something of that sort. A body cam to document your deliveries, to show your drop-offs, to prove to Uber Eats, DoorDash, any of the gig apps, hey, I have video. Boom, there's your proof. Cover yourself. Always protect yourself. And number one priority when you're out there is safety comes first. I'm here to keep you in the loop, teach you the tips and the tricks. And I have enough experience being out here for over 4.5 years. And there's weeks I do this every day. Every day. Do I want to do it every day? No. But I do it because it makes me feel good about me. It brings me my worth, my self-worth. I don't care what anyone thinks. I don't care what anybody has to say. There's people out there that will tell you, why don't you go get a real job? I got reasons why I do what I do, and I don't owe nobody an explanation of why I do what I do. It works for me, guys. I don't let what people want to say or judge or criticize about, I don't let that bother me. I am who I am. You will grow into who you are meant to become, and you will do what you have to do for you. And the day you realize that is the day you've made a vital, true step to having an understanding and having success in what you do. The longer you do this, the more you'll figure out. And if you are serious about doing this, you will either evolve further into the gig economy, or you will make other choices to go other ways. And if that's the case, then so be it. There's nothing wrong with that. It's not for everybody. It's not for this one over here that just comes out for an hour or two to try to make easy money and found out 3 hours later that they actually made no money. Why is that, guys? It's because you have to come out here and really hustle to make money. You have to hustle day in and day out, and you have to not be willing to surrender and stop until you've made that money. You have to get solid, decent trips and understand what it is you're doing and how you're approaching it and how you will go about things, and what happens if something happens here, or what happens if I get sidetracked here. You will have to have a clear mind and understand what it takes to figure those things out to get you from point A to point B. So I like to talk about the life events and keeping this right. This is the best thing you have. And if you keep this right, everything will have you will understand your spectrum. You will understand a wide range of everything it is that you are supposed to figure out and do. And I was through critical times in my life. And the reason I survived and am a survivor is because I kept this from unraveling. Now, there's times, don't get me wrong, that I feel like I'm unraveling. We all do. We all have our moments. We all have our time. But keeping this together is essential in figuring out, okay, we're doing this now, what's next? And figuring that out. Or I'm always planning my next move. Or I'm always, after I do this, I'm going to do this. Or I'm going to pick this trip up. We're going to head over this way, pick this trip up. We're going to head down here. Oh boy, there's road construction. We're going to cut down this side road. We're going to shift down this other road. We're going to come up here, drop that off. Come back down the other side, drop that off. And I'm going to head back up this other road because it's going to put me back in my market area. That's a clear and thorough part of thinking, to planning a strategy. And if you're able to do that, good for you. Me, I'm geared to doing that. And it's very helpful in getting me from point A to point B. Being out here is not always an easy thing. Do I always want to go pick that McDonald's up and take it over there? No, but it's paying $16. Do I always want to just pick that Bob Evans up over there and take that down the road 12 miles? No, but it's paying me $22.50. So you got to get your thinking right. You got to get your everything together. And so if you can get one app together, then, and understand it clear and thoroughly, then I would say you can try a new app. Get that one down. And then you could possibly be on your way to multi-app, and if that's what you choose to do. And if that's what you desire to do, then so be it. But don't worry about everybody else. Oh, you do DoorDash, you do Uber Eats, you do gig apps. People will say, go get a real job. Don't let them people bother you, because it's always those people that are below us that have something to say about us people that got it going on. So remember that. And I'm always looking for new avenues. I'm always looking for new openings. And can I try this too? Let me see if I can do this. And I'm also a content creator. And I'm totally thinking about new ideas for videos. And I do these videos for you guys. I don't get paid from any of the gig apps to make these videos for you. So if you think that I do, I don't. And I make these videos exclusively for my audience, for you guys. And I'm depending on my audience to tell me what they want to see, what they want to hear, what they want to know, and either approve of what I'm doing or telling me that they would like to see something else. But my channel is strictly about the gig economy, even though we talk about all kinds of topics. So we will talk about life experiences and events and things to improve and the power of the mind and positiveness and key elements of moving from point B to point A to point B. Without being a certain frame of mind, you're never going to get there from point A to point B. You have to understand first off how to get there and where do I start. And if your thinking's not right, you're not going to do it. You're not going to feel like doing it. So the other thing is, guys, I'm here to keep you in the loop. I'm here to bring you the news on any of the gig apps and to really let you have a clear understanding of what I do. Have you understand, is this what I want to do? Maybe you just enjoy watching my videos. Maybe you feel that it's pure, total entertainment. Or if you get something positive out of what I am talking about and it's helping you in your life, then so be it. Remember, guys, as always, I want to hear from all you. Leave it in the comment box below. Let me know what you're thinking about. Let me know what's on your mind. And as always, I appreciate it. I appreciate all the new subscribers. I appreciate all you guys have been with me all along. And if you're new to my channel and like my content, please, by all means, consider subscribing. Hit the like button, and while you're at it, hit the alert bell. So, I enjoyed having this conversation with you all, guys. And as always, we're going to have plenty more of these. And it's just not busy in this lunchtime rush right now for Uber Eats or DoorDash. So I'm probably, with my day, going to sit here for just a little longer, see if I get any more trips. And if not, guys, I got other things to do at home. And I got another job to go do where I'm going to make some money at. And I always have some side things to understand what it is I'm doing if I'm not doing this. And I'm going to go do another job for a girl and take an old faucet off and put a new faucet on for her in her kitchen. And I'm going to make money that way. So it's just not very busy today. And so I'm going to sit here for a little bit longer, see how that goes. If that doesn't pan out, I'll be back at this tomorrow and we'll grind it out. We'll really grind it out. But getting a terrible trip now. So anyhow, guys, I'm going to try and get another video up here tonight. And maybe tomorrow I will do a live or at least get another video up there. But I enjoyed this conversation with you immensely. And I loved having this conversation. I hope all you guys are doing well. And for more tips and tricks and other videos, if you want to see any other videos like this or want to see any news about Uber Eats or DoorDash, check out my last video about Uber Eats and DoorDash saying no to tip baiting. And look for any new videos from me. I appreciate all you guys, and until I see you the next time, take care.